All right, let's return to that big story we've been tracking. Rahul Gandhi tweeting an open letter in which he has formally resigned and talked about how it's been an honor to serve the Congress. He also talked about the need for hard decisions and for selecting a leader now to take the Congress party forward. Now, just who is that going to be is, of course, the million-dollar question. Sunil Prabhu joining us at this point with more on that. Sunil, it's interesting that Rahul Gandhi's letter doesn't at all even once mention the word election or electing a new Congress chief. In fact, it has a paragraph about how senior leaders of the party were entrusted with the task of narrowing down on specific names. What is it that we're hearing at this point?
Well, there are two aspects to it about, narrowing down and electing. That is, of course, a process which will be duly done in any democratic party. That's an election process which will be followed. The CWC first will meet, and then it has to be ratified by the All India AICC when it is ultimately convened by the new secretary and the CWC. It's in that backdrop that there are two Dalit prominent leaders who are in all likelihood to be, and of course this is a reflection of the fact that the old guard still continues to be very much in the scheme of things. And that is Mr. Kharge as well as Mr. Shinde. The choice is between both of them about who would succeed. Clearly, Mr. Kharge has played an important role as the leader of the single largest opposition party during the 2014 period. Mr. Shinde, of course, has his own years of experience, not only in Maharashtra, but as General Secretary, and has played important roles apart from being a vice presidential nominee for the party. So it's really a decision that will have to be taken in consultation with, of course, and the backing of Rahul Gandhi, even though he says he does not want to get involved in this process. His mother, Sonia Gandhi, as well as his sister, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, who is the General Secretary in charge of Uttar Pradesh, Eastern Uttar Pradesh, and plays an important, significant role. So between the three of them, they will have to make a choice between Mr. Kharge or Mr. Shinde, and it's in that backdrop that a decision will be taken.
Right, Sunil, what is the sense that you're getting? Is there sort of a broader consensus behind these two names now? It was always going to be difficult to find a replacement for Rahul Gandhi as Congress president, but now that these two names are doing the rounds, is there kind of broader acceptability for both these senior leaders?
Well, as if you understand, Ankita, this was decided on the 30th. On the 20th of June, Rahul Gandhi had told NDTV very categorically a gist of what the statement has been given today. Today, that letter has been made official because that process has now clearly culminated, and that process is over. So it's clear now that they have decided on somebody who will be able to take over. There's a broad consensus on that. And when the Congress Working Committee is convened in the next few days, or it's likely to happen as soon as possible, then of course that entire process will come to a finality. So it's in that context that this decision of making public.
So then, Sunil, are you suggesting that this process of whittling down and figuring out names has been underway all this time, when at least it appeared to the external world that there were various attempts being made to get Rahul Gandhi to change his mind, or were those two processes concurrent?
No, as I said, Ankita, he had very categorically told us on the 20th of June, NDTV specifically, and as he says very clearly, there has to be a free press. The press has not been very kind to the Congress party ever since it lost. It was very clear to many people within the Congress party and those who matter that there was no question of Rahul Gandhi taking back or going back on his resignation. We in NDTV had been very specific from the day the CWC was convened and the day Rahul Gandhi made that decision that he insisted on his resignation and that there was no question of going back. So that process is over. As I said, today's decision to make public his letter, to go all out on what he means and what he plans to do for the party, a gist of what he had told us earlier, is now, because that process has culminated and it is now in the stages of finality. in deciding who the next Congress president will be. Of course, we shouldn't be able to preempt that decision, but the CWC will be convened shortly, and then, of course, that entire process will be taken to its logical conclusion.